What aspects of cleanliness do you look for in public transport?
I like it to be clean so that you can sit down, like no gum on the seats and things like that. We have taken public transportation since we've been in Australia, which is only a few days, both in Sydney and in Brisbane. And we find everything to be quite immaculate, frankly.
Yeah.
Everywhere, actually.
Yeah.
Great. How are you treated by the operators of public transport?
Well, let's see. When we took the train, the person who sold us the ticket was very nice. We didn't see any people on the train who were train workers, but everything ran well, so they were obviously doing a good job. So I would say very good, because you don't have to see everybody in order for them to be doing a good job.
Yeah. And when you're using public transport, do you feel safe?
Yes, I was. We didn't take it at night because originally, not just we live in Florida, we're New Yorkers, so we're a little suspect of things. Forgive us. We're always a little, especially myself.
Which form of public transport do you feel is the most effective and reliable?
In the train from the airport, the air train, which was wonderful, and then we took a bus to the Koala Park. Tourists, we had to go there. They had some trouble with the bus because the air conditioning broke down, but they got us off the bus, had another bus there in 5 minutes, so that was wonderful. But we haven't taken enough public transportation to say which is better or not.
Do you find public transport gets you where you need to go on time?
Yes, absolutely. It runs according to the public schedule, so if you're not on time, it's probably your own fault.
Yeah. Do you think that the price of a daily pass for public transport is reasonable?
The price?
Yeah.
So, in comparison
Yep.
to the U.S. Now, we don't live in a city that has fantastic public transportation. It's a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
But then again, everything is a lot more expensive here. With the cleanliness and the eco-friendly transportation that you have here in Australia, which always is going to cost us a little more up front.
Lastly, which form of transport do you prefer the most?
I do love, just in general, I can't say this so much about Australia because we haven't done it. I love the train mostly because it's usually fast and I can see where I'm going. So if I'm lost, I can go, whoops, I can get off and then start again.
Which aspects of cleanliness do you look for in public transport?
This one too.
I think, like when you take the train or the bus, the seats are clean and that sort of thing, you don't want to sit on bubble gum and that sort of thing. So that, and also having bins at the station. Yeah.
How are you treated by the operators of public transport?
Fine most days. Sometimes bus drivers can be a little bit rude, but generally they're usually pretty friendly.
Okay. When you are using public transport, do you feel safe?
Yes, always.
And do you find public transport gets you where you need to go on time?
I find the trains are pretty good at running on time. Buses, actually yesterday a bus didn't arrive that I was going to take.
That happened to me the other day.
Yeah, so sometimes, most of the time, 9 times out of 10, yes, it does.
And which form of public transport do you feel is the most efficient and reliable?
For me, it would be buses because I'm closer to buses than I am to the train. But I do find the trains run a bit better than the buses.
Yeah. And how many times a week do you use public transport?
Every day.
Every day? Okay. Do you think the price of a daily pass for public transport is reasonable?
I think it could be a bit cheaper. I do multiple trips, so I do find it a bit expensive. Like when you look at it over the week, it's pretty expensive. Yeah.
And when looking for a route or a journey in Brisbane online, do you find it easy to access?
Yes.
Awesome. And Do you find the comfort and cleanliness of the public transport in Brisbane up to a good standard?
Yeah, I'd say it's a fair standard. Yep.
And last one, which form of transport do you prefer the most?
Buses.
Buses.
Yeah.
We all do, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Which aspects of cleanliness do you look for in public transport?
Probably make sure the seats are clean where you're sitting.
How are you treated by the operators of public transport?
Very well, on the whole. It depends who you get, but yeah, 99% of the time they're very good.
Yep. When you are using public transport, do you feel safe?
Yes.
Do you find public transport gets you where you need to go on time?
Yes.
Which form of public transport do you feel is the most efficient and reliable?
I only catch buses, so I don't really comment on buses, but hit and miss with time sometimes, but most of the time, 90% of the time, they're reliable. So.
How many times a week do you use public transport?
To get to and from work, so it's 10 times a week. So.
Yep. Do you think the price of a daily pass for public transport is reasonable?
Someone told me that Brisbane's the most expensive, one of the most expensive cities in the world for public transport per how far you travel. So no, it's probably a little bit on the steep side. Yeah.
When looking for a route or a journey in Brisbane for public transport, do you think it's easy to access online?
Yeah, Journey Plan is fantastic. So yeah.
Okay. And do you find the comfort and cleanliness of the public transport in Brisbane to a good standard?
Yes.
And last question, which form of transport do you prefer the most?
I actually like catching the ferry. I like the boats.
Yeah,
But
and stuff, you use those?
it's just relaxing thing to catch a mode of transport other than a train or a bus. So.
Yep. What aspects of cleanliness do you look for in public transport?
The seats.
The seats?
What are you sitting on? You know, who sat on it before?
Yeah.
What are you going to get back up and still have stuck to your pants?
Yeah. How are you treated by the operators of public transport? You are an operator. Yeah.
Well, I'm an operator.
also-
Most of them treat me okay.
Yeah.
You know, but really, I'm just a ticket seller.
Yeah.
So my role is to treat everyone else really well.
Yeah.
And that's smiley face.
That's always good because that makes people feel comfortable. When you were using public transport, do you feel safe?
Oh yeah, absolutely,
Yep.
all the time.
Yeah.
The only time I felt unsafe was when I was young and unable to protect myself. And that was, say, 10.
Yeah. That's the same with us with our age and
Yeah.
stuff. Do you find public transport gets you to where you need to go on time?
If you plan it correctly, yes, with Journey Planner, yeah, you get 3, 4, 5 options.
Yeah.
So it's up to you to get on public transport on time.
Which form of public transport do you feel is the most efficient and reliable?
Oh, definitely this one, the City Cat. Yeah, it's really efficient, really fuel efficient.
Comes
it's
on
green,
time.
Comes on time, sticks on time, reliable. You look at the lovely new wharves, everybody's happy. And we've got the areas here which I'll move the kids out of in a minute for any wheelchairs, prams, or all these wharves have been redesigned for people with disability, mobility issues. And so now we're seeing a huge amount of younger adults with mobility issues coming on in their chairs and enjoying the trip and being able to take trips to...
And it suits everyone.
Yeah. And they feel part of the community, which is really important.
How many times a week do you use public transport? We've already asked you this.
Yeah, look, I'm on it every day.
Yeah. Do you think the price of a daily pass for public transport is reasonable?
No.
No?
For children, it's hard. I don't want to set children on public transport all day. But in situations like where you're going from theme park to theme park.
So next question, we've just got a few more. Where is it? When looking for a route or journey in Brisbane online, is it easy to access?
Absolutely. It's just TransLink, Journey Planner, and you just put in your start and finish and what time before or after.
And it comes up with the results?
Absolutely. Not always correct results. You should look at a number of different options, but we can find it within seconds. Bang.
What aspects of cleanliness do you look for in public transport?
I guess it's the standard, when you get on that there's not loads of rubbish on the floor and when you put your hands on the I guess.
Awesome. And how are you treated by operators of public transport?
I guess I mainly use the City Guider, and so when you get on, you don't really speak to the conductor so much. So yeah, I mean, they've generally been pretty friendly.
When you're using public transport, do you feel safe?
Yeah.
And do you find public transport gets you where you need to go on time?
Yeah, generally.
Yeah. Which form of public transport do you feel is the most efficient and reliable?
For me, I use the City Guider from West End into the city, so that's pretty good.
And it's quick and easy.
It's quick and easy. I think the City Cat, I think there's perhaps a new terminal going to be in West End, which would be good.
Yeah. How many times a week do you use the public transport?
5, yeah. So Monday to Friday in the morning.
Do you think the price of a daily pass for public transport is reasonable?
Probably a little bit expensive for what I use it for because I only literally go from West End to the city, so I think it's a little expensive. Yeah.
And when looking for a route or journey in Brisbane online, is it easy to access, do you find?
Yeah. Pretty easy.
Do you find the comfort and cleanliness of the public transport in Brisbane is of a good standard?
Yes.
And last one, which form of transport do you prefer the most?
I think I prefer the City Taxis on the river, but I think the bus is actually good.
Alright, awesome, thanks.